It's another beautiful day, and welcome you to the exclusive. On this episode, we are going to be having a chat with the former Minister of Sports of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and a lawyer, a Nigerian lawyer, who is also an academics. And there's no other person that I'm talking about on this special episode of the exclusive rather than the Comrade Solomon Dalung. Good day, sir.
Well, thank you very much for this very wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, sir. All right. It's going to be an interesting discussion with the former Honorable Minister of Sports, and my name is Korede Akitunde. On this episode, we are going to be looking at the Honorable Minister's background, and we'll be talking on sports. We'll be talking on the Christian genocide in Nigeria, and a little bit of national politics and some other state of the nation matters on this special episode. So sit back and enjoy this wonderful session with me. Comrades, let me start by, from what I know, which may not be true, that you were born on the 26th day of September, 1964. Tell us about yourself, if that is true.
Well, my name is Solomon Dalung. I'm the only child of my mom. Both parents are late now.
Wow.
Thank God they died at mature ages. My mom died at 90.
Oh,
My dad died at 105.
wow.
They died about the same time.
Okay.
They were buried the same day,
Oh,
and I buried them in the same grave because they planned and died at the same time, so I don't need to separate them. Well, I was born 26th of September 1964 in a town known as Sabongida, in the then resettlement area, which is now Langtang South. My father was a medical personnel. He retired as a director of health in the local government system. He served in the then Taraba State. My mom was a housewife, a businesswoman, a farmer, and a community leader. I had the opportunity of having early primary school education in Sabongida, which I completed in 1977. After my second primary education, I went to Government College, Kefi. Now, from Kefi, I joined the then Nigerian Prison Service, which is now the Correctional Service. So I put up about 15 years in service before I went back to school. Went back to read law at the University of Jos.
okay.
Upon my graduation, which coincidentally was also a very unfortunate history in our academic system, because from the year I entered university in 1991, I was supposed to have graduated in 1995, but I had a voluntary and a free donation of 4 years as a result of industrial strike. So I graduated in 1999. As if heaven was not too fair to my generation, we went to law school, which was supposed to be for 9 months, and it lasted for 2 years. So I was called to bar 2001. I went to law school in 1999.
Is that also due to strikes?
Well, if you are so unlucky in life, unfortunate scenarios will be folding like pack of cards. So that one came also alongside an unexplained situation. So I was called to bar in 2001. After my call to bar, I was appointed as personal assistant to Chief Dr. Solomon Lar, who then was the special advisor emeritus to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I served for 3 years, then went back to the prison headquarters, and I was a legal officer too there for a period of 6 months. Then I retired.
Okay.
I went to the University of Jos to lecture from 2004 to 2011. In 2005, I enrolled for my master's degree in law. I graduated in 2007
Okay.
with master's in law. And that in 2007, after my graduation, I was appointed the chairman of Langtang South Local Government and served for a period of about 1 year and a half. Returned to the university, continued with lecturing.
Okay.
And by 2011, I decided to voluntarily resign and join politics and activism. Well, the history of being an activist has been long in me, but I decided to make it now a pursuit in life. I continued from there, 2011. In 2014, I contested the primaries of the APC as a founding member of APC in Plateau State. I lost it to Governor Dalung. Then I was appointed. I campaigned for the late President Muhammadu Buhari. He won the election, was appointed member of the Transition Committee. So we actually took over government from Jonathan and handed it over to late President Muhammadu Buhari. Subsequently, I was appointed a Minister of Youth and Sports Development from 2015 to 2019. From 2019 to now, I have remained a revolutionary Democrat, a social justice and anti-corruption crusader, a peace advocate, and, a lawyer,
Okay.
a community leader, and I've been appreciated by so many Nigerians that I'm a very handsome man, but only toxic in the mouth.
Honestly, I appreciate your breaking down of this your very elaborate long journey. So currently you are practicing as a lawyer or purely as a politician?
Yes, I'm just even coming back from court.
Oh,
That is my
primary assignment.
greatest ambition in life, because I went to read law. It was prompted by a coincidence when I was on special duty to court. And as I sat there, I watched a case where a poor person, then by my judgment and the judgment of majority of the people in court, had a very good case, but I had to lose the case because he wasn't having a lawyer. So it was then that I saw the magnitude of injustice. Even though, as a person, I suffered injustice at the age of 9 months. So my war with injustice is not out of hatred or vendetta, but because I had an opportunity to suffer injustice at the age of 9 months. And when I grew up, my grandmother took time to explain it to me. And
At the age of 9 or
at
9?
the age of 9 months, I was
Wow.
9 months
Wow.
when the first injustice was meted upon me. And when I grew up, my grandmom took time. She was a very great woman and explained to me.
What was this injustice?
Yeah, under Tarok tradition, the first male child is usually brought up by the maternal uncles.
Okay.
Is taken and is brought up there. That's our tradition. So I was the first child of my mom. Incidentally, I happened to be the last. So I was taken and I grew up with my grandmom. So when I was taken when I was 9 months old. So I was crawling then according to my grandmom. So I was left with one of my cousins at home. Then my uncle came, then took my cousin and left me alone at home. Everybody has gone to farm. So I was left alone and I was crawling everywhere until I got tired. And then there's this traditional way of piling of firewoods against the rainy season. It's done in the dry season. And so I went under it and slept there. So when they returned from the farm, there was a very serious search for me, which according to my grandmom lasted to around 10 p.m. in the night. Everywhere was searched in the village. It was a big calamity in the village because everybody was awake. And that night, somebody was sent into the well to make sure I was not in the well. So at the end, it was a helpless situation. It was concluded I was dead.
Wow.
Then one of my uncles, who was a Second World War veteran, said, "Look, but this is a crawling baby. Why can't we begin to trace the imprint of his this thing, to trace where he finally would have gone to?" And of course, that led them to where they found me, lying under the pile firewood with reptiles. So when they brought me out, my grandmama asked my uncle, "Why would you have done this to him?" So my uncle told my grandmom that, "Look, my parents were very poor people. They can't afford to give me education. And that the highest I would be in life is to be a servant of their children. So why would they waste their time or investment taking care of me?" So that statement injured the compassion of my grandmom. And she said, "Well, if I were going to be alive, I would walk naked to give him education." So when I was of primary school age, she did exactly that. And she paid my primary school fee, which was £2.5 then, from primary 1 to primary 5, before the universal adult education came in. So when I was 15, she sat me down and explained this to me. From that day, I declared war with injustice. So anywhere I smell injustice, even in this vicinity of the church, I will embark on rampage.
Honestly, that's a great drive indeed to be in that system. But and I think that will take me to ask the first question I may want to throw, which is, now you have been in this judicial system for a while. How will you assess Nigerian judicial system? Just a few days ago, the president was at the NJI conference, and the deniers and the back and forth on judges singing "On Your Mandate We Shall Stand." Looking at the judicial system as a whole, you've been there, so what's your assessment?
I think my lots were ambush and blackmail. I watched the video. And to the best of my knowledge, there was no single judge I cited from their lips singing that ignoble anthem. But it was either the military band or the police band who were played that anthem instead of the national anthem. And Nigerians had always been misinterpreting that anthem. The anthem is sung like this: on your dollar we shall stand, on your dollar we shall stand, on your dollar, Tinubu, on your dollar, Tinubu, on your dollar we shall stand. That is the anthem.
On your dollar.
On your dollar. And it's the National Assembly that formulated this particular anthem. Each time they cite anybody resembling Tinubu coming into the Hano chambers, they will just start shouting. They'll be so excited as if they saw their grandfather coming in. So the judges should be spared on the occasion of this ignoble Imiloko national anthem. They didn't sing it. But that does not explain the state of the Nigerian judiciary. The Nigerian judiciary, with the advent of democracy in 1999, was a very vibrant. It was a people's driven. It was intellectually sound. It was the passion and the hope of the common people. If you read the 16 judgments of Justice Lewis between 1999 and 2007 or so, thereabout. In fact, one of the judgments was against the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court stated the law. So it was the Nigerian judiciary that stabilized this democracy. But that was then, as we will always say, lawyers, that as it then was. Whether the judiciary today is the last hope of the common man, no. The judiciary is the first calamity of the common man. It has gotten so bad that the sign of justice, the blind woman, any poor person passing and citing it, whether on a screen or anywhere, panics. Because the poor feels that, that sign is a disaster to their rights and privileges as citizens of Nigeria. They are scared because they don't know whether that sign will instigate one land grabber to visit their homes and take over. And there's nothing they can do about it. The judiciary, the state of the judiciary, has created so much hopelessness that Nigerians fear the judiciary more than criminals. It used to be the opposite. Because Nigerians used to feel, look, I will speak confidently. If you touch me, there are custodians of my fundamental human rights. But today, even in worship places, Nigerians conduct themselves as captives because they are afraid of maybe the next step may lead them into trouble. And the beginning of trouble is the calamity of the poor. So the state of the judiciary as it is now, whether you are looking at the protection of the rights of the citizen, whether you are looking at the resolution of disputes between governments, state and the national government, subnational and national government, whether you are looking at the protection of the properties of the common people, whether you are looking at the protection of their ancestral rights, whether you are looking at judiciary dealing with the issue of their safety and lives, whether you are looking at the judiciary playing the role of protection of their businesses, all these indices are already programmed against the poor. Therefore, the state of the Nigerian judicial system as it were now.
So you are also insinuating that what the president said, that justice should not be bought, is what is actually happening?
No. You see, armed robbers who robbed the bank and shared the proceeds of robbery, one of them cannot turn around and blame a car dealer for selling a car to one of them whom he is calling as an armed robber. The president lacked the moral high grounds to even blame the judiciary. He's a beneficiary of the situation we are complaining of. If he was a very honest person that he wanted to blame the judiciary, he had the opportunity to have earned the confidence of Nigerians just like Yaradua did. Did he win election? 36% of the votes. How can you declare a winner? I've studied over 20 forms of government in the world. Even under cruel dictatorship, they made sure that at least, even if they are going to manipulate results, it must be 50%. But there's somebody who got 36%. 64% of Nigerians did not vote him. Yet, because of the very corrupt electoral system we had, he was declared winner. How did he know that Mahmoud was going to declare results by 4 p.m., that he was awake?
4 a.m.
At 4 a.m., that he was awake to be jubilating in his house. Meanwhile, Mahmoud suspended collation of results for 10 a.m. in the morning. So I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu lack the moral audacity to even look at Nigerians in the face and blame the judiciary. It's a case of kettle blaming the black pot. So
you said the mandate that we hear from this music is actually dollars.
No, it's not mandate. The people singing have no business. They don't have any mandate. But they are singing about the dollars they are collecting. And they sit there every day to borrow money and raise a heavy debt burden for Nigerians. So they are only excited about the state of the locust tradition, as the wiping of the national resources. They're sharing it. Their children are not here. Their wives are not here. Their families are not here. It's only them that are in the National Assembly or ministers. So they are just like colonial inspectors. So that's why they are singing that song. Otherwise, if they are there to represent the poor, it should be the poor that should be singing mandate, not people who had cars bought for 150 million from loan, shouting on them. Which mandate?
Let me let me ask one other question on this legal matters before we move ahead. You see these days when electoral system or election takes place, and you see politicians just like you and others who say people should go to court. Now, it has been as if sending people to court has become a clear way for corruptions to be stamped and authenticated. Is that what is happening?
There is an East African adage that says, if a thief who has stolen your property asks you to go to court, he is confident that the judge is his brother. So for Professor Mahmoud to have declared results and said those aggrieved should go to court, I mean, that was the greatest slap on the first faces of those who contested the election and democracy. And I didn't know why they went to court. They would have exercised the power of majority. They would have tested their popularity and called out Nigerians to defend their votes.
How?
They would have called out the people that voted. Those votes belong to the Nigerian people. Called them out and occupied INEC until the right thing is done. But I think most of these people could not do it because they are property owners. So they were a bit scared that maybe if people occupied INEC for 2-3 days and they are hungry, they may begin to at least visit and touch their properties. So that was why they went to court. So they were also hypocritical because they did not believe in protecting the mandate of the people of Nigeria.
So, as a comrade and activist, you have your way of getting everybody on the streets to protest. Has protest ever worked in Nigeria? Has it ever changed anything? Because
oh my good God.
Today, we have the same set of people who were in government who protested against Goodluck Jonathan. How much has activism and protests changed things that law could do?
It was protest that got independence for Nigeria. It was protest that brought this democracy. Some of us were detained in prison as Nadeco element because of protest. It was protest. I was in 2012 part of the occupied Nigerian protest with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Buhari, Reverend Pastor Tunde Bakare, Akio Kadigbo, Wole Sonyika, El Rufai, Femi Falana, and almost all the revolutionary Democrats. We occupied Nigeria and compelled Jonathan to reverse and foil this thing. So it was protest that earned that for us. It was even protest that made the APC won the election. It was during the occupied Nigeria that our leaders wrote a petition to the American government to invite them to come and protect Christians who Jonathan as a Christian was not protecting them, and they were killing them, bombing their worship places. This same set of people. So if you said protest has not done anything, I think you may not be quite familiar with the history and the input and the impact to which protest had contributed. It's protest. In fact, protest is the foundation of Nigerian civilization.
So you'd have advised Atiku and Peter Obi to have.
In fact, it was a necessity. That was the only thing option left for them to have rescued this democracy. We would have not been here. Where now we don't have democracy again, but we have kakistocracy.
Meaning?
It's a government of unveiled persons and idiots.
So if we go by this way, do you think the country wouldn't have gone aflame?
No, but if Nigeria goes aflame, who is the loser? democracy will survive. The loser will be corrupt and inept political elites. They are the losers. Because for all this while, they are the very persons who have ripped this country dry. For all these years from 1999 till then, if you look at the budget, what has been spent, that's nothing to show, except individuals building their empires, accumulating massive wealth living outside the country with so many houses and businesses. So the loser cannot be the poor. Has any poor person benefited from anything? Every day, the country drifts into the abyss. So the loser would have been corruption, and the winner would have been democracy. Because the people would have occupied and remained consistently in INEC until the right thing is done. And then INEC would have seen the people who voted defending their votes. But INEC would have been compelled.
But you know, these days, you politicians have also gotten a way in which you have a counter protesters to the real protesters. So we saw what happened at NSAS, a well-organized protest that the government eventually infiltrated.
No, you see, a protest which is infiltrated is a protest that failed the litmus test of people coming out in their numbers. If you have 1 to 2 million people on the ground, you cannot infiltrate that. You can't. It is when you have 500 people that the politicians will go and rent. Of course, most of them now have farms of wheat, and they have shops where they stockpile dangerous drugs to give to young people, and then instigate them with peanuts to embark on destruction. So even this idea of saying the country will go on flame, it is the same corrupt political elites that will now want to set the country ablaze so that when there is heavy smoke, they can run to the airport under the cover of the smoke, run to the airport and fly out of the country. So they always need those flames as a backup to enable them escape.
So let me come briefly into politics, since we are on that. Which party does Solomon Dalung belongs to now?
Well, I'm currently I am with the coalition.
The ADP?
The ADC.
ADC?
Yeah, has birthed the coalition, but the coalition is a conglomeration of about 4 to 5 political parties.
Okay.
PDP, SGP, APC.
Okay. Okay, so there are elements of APC.
Not element. There are APC members in large number in the coalition.
How? Are there facts to this that there are many APC members?
What facts are you looking for? There are APC is an amalgam.
Card-carrying member APC members?
Who was the former Attorney General?
Malami?
Yes.
Is also part of ADC?
Oh, you don't know?
I'm just getting to know.
Brute? Fantami?
Really?
Sadia? There are almost half of or 3/4 of Buhari's second-term ministers in the APC, in the coalition.
Now,
so APC is part of it. ABGA is part of it. So it's a group
So now,
of politicians from different political
a
parties.
lot of people are confused with this ADC. Is it going to be a party that everybody will join, or everybody, because it looks like everybody is working from their various parties and still claiming to be part of ADC? What is the game around this?
No, you see, we are great students of the Emiloko chief priest politics.
Okay.
Yeah. Where he recruited Wike, who is PDP, but appointed him in APC government and is using him as an undertaker to destroy PDP.
Okay.
So that is the politics everybody has learned. We mastered it more than them now. And I think everybody should know that under President Tinubu's politics of deceit and hypocrisy, if you are a member of Anglican Church, you can also go and join the Pentecostal Church. Yes. And then you learn the act of praying in tongues. Holy Ghost, fire. Then when you come back to Anglican Church, where the service there is a worship, the priest in charge with the congregation participating, you conduct yourself. So that's how the politics currently is playing out. So don't be bothered about what is happening in ADC. We are watching what Tinubu is up to with Wike. So when they change, we change. So as much as Wike is PDP and is going around demolishing people's houses in Abuja with even everybody's house, because in Abuja today, there is nobody holding a valid C of O except the one Wike wakes up with a dream and say it's valid. Even the C of O of this church is not valid until you are sure. Because if Wike wakes up and imagine that Solomon Dalung came here and is disgracing them, I will not be surprised when I will see bulldozers here. So it's Wike's politics with Tinubu. We have taken in the coalition and we have students of political science who knew them very well, who knew Wike and his history, his behavior, his psychology, who knew Tinubu. So we are studying them. That's why you see us rolling out this also confused and deceptive strategy. I see we're not serious people.
So now, for instance, ADC has not, an election just held in Anambra. ADC did not make any headway there. And so people don't seem to take you serious. What does it look like? Should we still expect something to come up? You have the Peter of Obi, you have Atiku, you have Rotimi Amechi. These are presidential people who wants to vie for this office. What hope does this coalition can give Nigerians for 2027 election?
My mentor who brought me up in politics left me with one principle. He said, if you go to the community of corn people, you behave like a fool. And I asked him why. And he said, because they will assume that you don't know anything. And when they will be planning to kill you, they will do it in your presence, thinking you don't know what they are planning, and they will not succeed. So, you see, the ADC, the outing of the ADC in elections as Nigerians are monitoring, that's what we in ADC are also monitoring. It's not the victory. We are evaluating our level of mobilization and acceptability.
Okay.
If you look at the rallies of the ADC in the by-elections. The turnout in some places completely dwarfed the presence, the visibility of APC. So what they did was to go around and use security to go and change results and declare themselves. We were not bothered. Because what we're interested in is to rescue democracy. And if you want to rescue democracy, you must reorientate the people and mobilize them to be politically active. So our target is 2027. And we are measuring the level of progress as we go.
But
what happened in Anambra, it may look quite disappointing to Nigerians. But for us in the coalition movement, we are going to evaluate, do what we call a postmortem of the election. We are interested. We're not interested in the victory. We're interested in the style and tactics deployed to rig the election.
So let me ask, because most of the time when politicians say they want to save democracy, this is how these governments made that noise, that they want to save democracy, and now democracy is actually in the coma under this. So what assurance do you have that this coalition can, I mean, this almost everybody in this coalition are people from PDP, are people from APC, just like you have said. These are known faces. What's the assurance that when you get there or when you come in, there will be a change?
The only believer who will make heaven is the one that confesses his sin. That's why in the Lord's Prayer, that is, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And Jesus Christ crowned this with the story of the tax collector, and a public official who went to pray. You see, the pious Pharisee went straight to the altar because he has the sense of entitlement. So he went there and was thanking God. Well, the tax collector, who knew he was a sinner and was unworthy of even approaching the sanctuary of God, fell outside. That one was telling God, I thank you that I'm not like him. But Jesus said at the end of the day, God listened to the prayer of the man who confessed his sin. So the coalition, all elements as it is today, are the most honest people. Because, yes, they have accepted that they fell. And they want to bring a change. They are not like APC, who are busy going around dancing a Miloko song. The sense of entitlement, the sense of capture. They are sharing the resources of Nigeria. They are kidnapping people. They are killing people in the church. Old women at the ages of 80 were trying to escape a gunshot. In this house of God, they are denying it. They are a general in the Nigerian army, a commander of a brigade, meaning he has at his disposal about 5,000 troops, or even less than that, 3,000. But his convoy was not only dared, it was attacked by non-state actors. He maneuvered himself as a gallant soldier because he did not surrender. Even when he lost out his arms, he maneuvered himself gallantly and escaped and remained in hiding. Contacted his theater commander, confirmed that he was alive, called for help. Help came, but he was captured. Instead of help rescuing him, help became his Waterloo. while the aircraft was hovering, which he confirmed in his text, that I had the aircraft, but they should hover around me. I will raise my pickup so that they will see me. That was the last we heard of him. The next was we saw him being executed by non-state actors. Yet, this same set of people, no national mourning was declared. It was not only him that died. Majority of his men were also killed.
Yeah.
We have not seen any national burial for them. The president was on his way to Angola before, of course, for the first time, Jesus Christ, he met Jesus Christ and canceled it and said, oh, and he has, nothing has been done. There's no national mourning declared. Flags are not at half mast. We have 25 of our daughters between the ages of 12 to 16, as we're talking, in captivity. We have those who were kidnapped in Eruku, in Kwara.
Yeah.
CSC churches.
35 of them.
Yes, in captivity. Not talking of those who have died. We are talking about 27 killed in Plateau State. We are talking about the pastor and who was killed, the wife and the daughter kidnapped by ISWAP in Chibok. Their church and their properties burned down. Yet, all that APC is doing is going around celebrating defection, dancing on the graves of these patriots and victims of terrorism, and insulting the conscience of the nation.
Honorable, is there Christian genocide in Nigeria?
There is don't even reduce it to Plateau. Those who were killed in Chibok about 4 or 5 days ago, about 3 or 4 churches, as reported by Senator Ndume, that happened in his constituency. Why were they killed? They were targeted because of their faith. That was why they were killed. Their church destroyed. So genocide means targeting a population because of who they are. Whether because of their faith, whether because of their ethnic identity, whether because of their race, whether because of their political affiliation.
Yeah.
So are we denying that there are no targeted elimination en masse of Christians in Nigeria? Are we denying it? If we are denying it, then what is our understanding of the legal definition of genocide?
The governor of Benue State said there's no genocide in Benue.
Well,
and is a father.
Yeah. With due respect to the Reverend Father, you know, he has worn that cap with the ring of, you see, that ring is confusion. That ring there is confusion. So I don't expect him to think like a Reverend Father. He's thinking like a Miloko agent. So he will have to deny the existence of what he knows. Until when you remove that cap from him, then he will begin to think properly. So I think the governor of Benue State deserves national fasting by CAN. CAN National should declare national fasting, because what he said is a blow dealt on the heart of Christianity. And if CAN will not call for national prayers, then they have no reason to ask Christians to pray for anything in Nigeria. That's a leader, trained. He has vast knowledge in theology. He understood Christianity. You know, the Bible says in Hebrews that it is impossible to make anew. Those who have accepted Christ and tested of the goodness of the gospel of Christ and stray. That is what is unfolding there. So we should be more compassionate. We should seek the face of God to save him, because he has completely been captured by the dark and satanic forces of that type of cab with the 8. That's why I have been warning pastors. They should distance themselves from APC. Otherwise, I am not a prophet. In 2027, Christianity will be history in Nigeria. If our spiritual leaders are still receiving APC leaders in the night, like Nicodemus, they have started seeing what is happening in Benue. Very soon, you will find leaders of CAN denying that, in fact, there has been no Christian ever killed in Nigeria. The Reverend has said no genocide. If Christians are not careful, very soon CAN leaders who are visiting and receiving APC leaders in the night, in the name of Tinubu has abandoned Muslims and he wants to engage the Christians. I am afraid.
Sir, you were in a government that a lot of people have said increased the tempo of terrorism and kidnapping in Nigeria under Buhari. I mean, a lot of people have even condemned the government you were part of. That was one of the most terrible governments. And I think I've heard you also try to exonerate yourself.
No, I've not exonerated myself. No, okay. It is not correct. The Buhari's government is not the most terrible. Okay. It was a terrible APC government, but the most terrible is Tinubu. Really? Maybe we have problem with understanding of English language. I considered that the Buhari's government completely failed to discharge the burden of the campaign promises, which include insecurity.
Yeah.
Yes. Because Buhari's government did not deal with insecurity. Rather, insecurity escalates under Buhari's government.
Okay.
That is not deniable.
Okay.
You know, I am not a Christian. I am a believer. And we believers in Jesus Christ. You see, we know God and we say it as it is, because the only thing we fear is the day of judgment.
So what's the difference between a believer in Christ and a Christian? I think it's the same thing.
No. There's a very great difference.
Really?
Yeah. A believer is a follower of Jesus Christ who believes that Jesus Christ died and rose on the third day, and that you can only be a believer by professing this with your mouth and trying to live like the life of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And when you live that Christ-like life, non-believers will now call you Christians. If a non-believer call me a Christian, I will accept.
Okay.
But you, if you call me a Christian, I will tell I'm not a Christian. I'm a believer. Because you are a brethren. So you can't call me a Christian.
Okay, that's the difference.
Yes. If we are living the same Christ-like life, why would you describe me better than you?
Okay. Let me concede to that. Now, you were talking about Buhari, because I want to see a situation where you are not just casting aspersion on Tinubu, maybe because, some people feel that most of the politicians who are against Tinubu are against him because they are not receiving the mandate, which you have tagged dollars. So, is that what is playing out?
No. You see, I would always want Nigerians to be honest and fair. If Tinubu is given governance of PDP 250 billion to defect. It means everybody who wants to follow Tinubu can get money.
So is this a fact?
It's a fact.
You have empirical facts on the
no,
fact
we
that
are.
Tinubu is giving
we are
governors 250
we are
billion?
putting it on the governors who are defecting to come out and challenge or join us in an open contest like this, so that we can put the facts to them.
So
we want any governor who will deny.
So they are receiving 250
billion to defect to APC. So if such huge sum is used to lure people into a one-party state, what makes me feel that a Solomon Dalung cannot be given such money to join Tinubu? You see, my problem, why, I will not collect that money, why I will not join Tinubu, is that my problem is I don't know when I will die. So if I collect 1 billion from Tinubu today and join APC, if I die tomorrow, what happens? So the issue of a very desperate politician like Tinubu, who is even not interested in contesting election with anybody, he can do anything. He can buy everybody. So anybody whom you see rejecting Tinubu deserves to be respected. If I surrender today and want to join the Emileko, I don't even need to go to Tinubu. I will just go and buy the cab in Wuse. Once I wear it and they see it, they will come for me. And then they will take me like Daniel Bwala.
To see the president.
Yes, once I snap picture, go and look at the picture of Daniel Bwala with Tinubu that day. You will discover that the size of his pockets were looking pregnant. And since he came out that day, he has been singing on Your Dola, We Shall Stand. And he even, Daniel Bwala, defending genocide in Nigeria by saying, oh, I am a Christian. I'm a pastor from the Northeast. There is no genocide, Christian genocide in Nigeria. But he was unable to explain what happened 4 days ago. You see, this issue of genocide in Nigeria, let us not downplay it. There is genocide against the Christians. There is genocide against even the Muslims themselves. There is genocide against those who are neither Christian nor Muslim. So the summary is that there is genocide against the poor. The only people that are not killed are the political elites and their children.
Who are not even in this country.
Yes.
Children.
Yes. So, you see, I don't want us to downplay what is happening to Muslims. Let us understand what is happening in Nigeria.
Okay.
Are Christians being killed? Yes.
Yeah.
Who are killing the Christian? Jihadists,
Islamic jihadists.
Islamic jihadists. Are Muslims being killed in Nigeria? Yes. Who are killing the Muslim? Islamic jihadists.
Yeah.
Why are they killing Christians? They are killing Christians because they are Christians. Why are they killing their fellow Muslims? They are killing their fellow Muslims because they refuse to subscribe to their ideology. So what are we downplaying? It's so disappointing that I hear Muslim leaders coming out to even defend this, even defend it, and to proceed to even insult Christians. I am crying that I've lost my mother. If you have also lost your mother, it's your business to start crying so that we know that, okay, well, can we have joint mourning? But you cannot say, why will I be crying and say I lost my mother when you yourself also lost your mother? That's hypocrisy. He who feels it knows it. So there is beyond iota of existing doubt genocidal killings against the Christians. And they are targeted by the Islamic jihadists because they are Christian. And anybody defending this is also a jihadist. It's an extremist. He's only trying to cover up. And let me put this on record. There are more terrorists living in towns and cities than the one in the bush. That is why we're under siege. That's why we're under siege. There are informants. There are some of them that are religious leaders. There are some of them that are even in government. There are some of them that are even within the security network. So there are more terrorists living in cities and urban centers than those living in the forest. That's why we are under siege. And that's why this debate about terrorism is so heated in the town. Defenders of terrorism are the terrorists themselves, because Ojukwu said this during the Civil War. He said those who were shouting that there were saboteurs in Biafra were themselves the saboteurs. So those who are defending these genocidal killings of Nigerians are either terrorist apologists, sponsors, financiers, enablers, or beneficiaries.
Honorable Solomon Dalung, please, my producer has graciously extended this interview with extra 30 minutes. So I'll just take a break and we'll be right back with Solomon Dalung. Thank you for staying with us on this interesting episode of The Exclusive. And I've been speaking with the former Minister of Youth and Sports in this country, Honorable Comrade Solomon Dalung. And it's been an interesting chat with you, sir, on this exclusive interview.
I don't know why you were trying to call me honorable when you said the government I served fell. So what is honorable about serving a government that fell? That's why I want you to call me with my name.
With your activist name.
My name, Comrade Solomon Dalung.
Comrade Solomon Dalung. I think, when you were once a minister, you were a minister. And so we can't remove that from you.
No, but the meaning of honorable is that, I mean, you serve selflessly and successfully.
Yeah.
So if the verdict has been that we did not succeed.
And you didn't succeed.
Yes, we did not succeed. So why carrying the name of honor again?
So
maybe you call it dishonorable. Solomon Dalung.
Comrade is, we know that, and for me, I just wanted to ask that you served in that government of Buhari. And, a lot of people have always asked that when politicians are in the game, they tend to defend whatever they are doing. You are a former Minister of Sport, and with all these things happening in your Plateau State then, what were the steps you took with the former president to ensure that killing stopped?
I have always been praying that God should have mercy on Nigerians. And allow them into his kingdom, maybe because of memory failure or deliberate mischief. As a minister, in 2017, I went to Cochin headquarters, Jos. And the then Cochin president, Reverend Dr. Datrin, confronted me and said, Mr. Minister, we are accusing you and Buhari of being responsible for the killings going on in Plateau State. And I told him, Baba, will you be able to repeat exactly these things you told me if I secure appointment
with the president
for you with the president? And he said yes. I said I was scared of Plateau people because I told the president that there was so much killings going on in Plateau. And the president visited the state. And in a town hall meeting where the then Governor Dalung assembled chosen Plateau people. 5 people were given opportunity to speak to the president. And all of them stood up and said I was a liar. Plateau was as peaceful as heaven.
Really?
It happened in Jos. One of the last speaker, an elder, as at the time he was lying that Plateau was peaceful under Governor Dalung. Terrorists attacked his village and burned down his house that same day. So I became afraid of Plateau people. So I told the president that I'm afraid because Plateau people can disgrace you anytime. Then he said he was willing. So I came and booked appointment for the church. And he came with the General Church Council of Cochin, comprising of about 45 reverends. They met with the president. I told him, before you come, you must write your speech, which will be exactly some of these things you told me. Give me my own copy before we go. And he did exactly that. And when we went to the president, I saw a courageous Christian leader. He repeated exactly what he told me in the church and told the president, we, the Christians on the plateau, feel that you and your government is responsible for the killings. He gave the president the number of villages that have been sacked and the statistics of people that are killed and the number of people that were in the IDPs. And when he concluded, the president thanked him and said, oh, this was the first time I am hearing these details as it were. I will act on it. This is public news. It was carried by the papers. But because Nigerians had to see my face, that's why when I'm coming for this interview, I decided to dress like a lawyer. I have my khaki in the car.
I was to ask that why where's your red cap? And,
no, it's in the car. But this interview is the type that you can even see I'm discussing gently. So I look like a gentleman because I'm dressed in suit today. So I did so much for insecurity. There was a time that I received an intelligence that about 2 trucks of mercenaries were brought to southern Kaduna. I went to the president. I informed the president. The government organized. We put in place and sacked them. There are so many of such things that I did across the country. I was a minister that went into the creeks and held a negotiation with the youth in Niger Delta that brought about the stability we are enjoying till today.
In the Niger Delta.
Yes, because when we came in, there were blowing of pipelines left, right, and so I went. I took the highest risks that nobody will do. Even the president prevailed on me and said, why would you want to take that risk? But I told him, if I can shed my blood for this country to be peaceful, I will do it. And I went. I spent 2 hours on the high sea. 2 hours with the youth. And another 2 hours coming back. So I've done much for this country.
Now, let's leave that and let me go into the area where you're... Okay, or before I go into that, why has it been very difficult for any of the government, both the one you served and this current one, to call someone like Sheikh Gumi to order, who has always said the opposite of all what you have said about killings in this country?
Well, that is left for maybe government. But it could be there are 2 reasons responsible. is either Gumi is speaking the minds of the government, or Gumi is expressing his opinion, and he knew so much about the involvement of some people in government. So going after him will be like this adage in Africa, that a lizard sitting by the pot of drinking water is difficult to handle. You attack it, you will break the pot. If you allow it, it may jump into the drinking water. So that may be the dilemma. Because Gumi, as a retired military officer, a major in the army, you cannot underestimate his capacity to generate intelligence. So if a small boy come out of the house where elders are inside and is insulting the king, and the elders did not say anything, he's either a messenger of the elders, or he was present when the chief diverted tax meant for development in the community. So Gumi's position may fit into any of this narrative.
Now let's go to sport matters as we are rounding up. You're a former Minister of Sports, and I'm sure that Nigeria missed the World Cup now 2 consecutive times. I think it's something very, at this critical time, this is one thing that unites the country, that will have at least appease members of this country. What was your, I saw a write-up you wrote on this, and how you felt that it's a big corruption under NFF. What are your insider thoughts on what happened to Super Eagles?
You know, when the then British Prime Minister, while briefing the late Queen about the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, Chogum in London, and whispered, which the mic picked it up, Nigeria is monumentally corrupt. Nigeria is a very corrupt country that those who do not like corruption are enemies. And very soon in this country, before you are appointed into government position, there must be a paragraph about your corrupt capacity. Otherwise, you may not be vetted. So I think that's what is playing out. You see, Nigerians don't like my face, and I know the reason why.
Okay.
When I was appointed a minister, they expected me to dress like this.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had dressed like this, you would have been reading about me, oh, the best minister, the best minister. But because I went there in a form that was too irritating to them, which was also my life jacket, they didn't know. And so Nigerians don't discuss my performance. But I tell you today, I left the record in the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development that nobody has beaten it till today. Nobody even has even moved close to it. And that is why you are coming to ask me, why has Nigeria missed World Cup twice? But let me remind you that I was the only minister who qualified Nigeria for World Cup without a presidential task force. Before 2018, the federal government used to budget 10 billion to qualify Nigeria with a presidential task force that usually is a sitting governor.
Hmm.
But I qualified Nigeria without that, saving that 10 billion. And I qualified Nigeria with a historical performance of 1 match to spare. If we had not qualified with 1 match to spare, the last match we played in Nigeria, which we were disqualified because we fielded a player who was under yellow card, would have also been disqualified from going to World Cup. But without that match, we were already qualified. This record is still standing very tall, harassing anybody in that ministry. Nobody has even been able to get close to it. And since I left that place, the flag of Nigeria has never been flown at the World Cup. Since I left that place. So the question is, if it's in a country where human beings who are leaders have brains and they love the country and they love Nigerians who have passion for football, one call that stupid man who is wearing uniform. What is the problem? They don't need to love me, but they should also ask. I mean, we're having problem on our hands. How did you do it differently? You ask the questions. And the answer is simple.
Yeah.
You see, in sports administrators work very hard for failure than success, because failure is more profitable than success.
Sports.
Yeah. The budget of sports is for the entire competition, right from the group stage to finals. The allowances, the bonuses of players and of officials, all budgeted. So a competition, just like the World Cup in 2018, the budget for the World Cup was 3 billion. And I told the Nigerian Football Federation, government is not going to bring that 3 billion. You must raise 1.5 billion from branding rights, the private sector, corporate Nigeria, and the governors. While I will raise 2 billion from government. And I raised the 2 billion from the government. When we went to the World Cup, we crashed at the group stages. They wanted me to release the 2 billion to them, but I released 1.5 billion to them. And that 1.5 billion was to take us to quarter finals. But we crashed at the group stages. And when we came back and I asked them
for
a retirement, they reproduced the same budget which they gave me, that I presented to the government. They reproduced it and sent it back to me, and I told them, no, that wasn't retirement. And when I was pressing them to account, they went back to the Nigerian sports media. Said, oh, Solomon Dalung is interfering. Oh, he doesn't like us. Oh, and then the media started a blackmail campaign against Solomon Dalung. Oh, that daft, that idiot. There was nothing they didn't say. Today, shamefully, they cannot now point as who is a daft and who is an intelligent person. Because they've been disgraced by what they promoted. They've been promoting corruption. I was in one of the international tournaments, seated there, when NFF officials sold the competition. I was there. Now, that day, I went in suit. And you know, they wear suit. So at the VIP, they thought I was one of them. Because the idea of the minister is somebody who is like a Boy Scout. They used to call him a Boy Scout. So when you immediately, he's within an environment, he's very spectacular. But that day I was sitting in suit like this, looking very handsome. So they were calling themselves and saying, go to room this and collect your own money. Go to room. So it was when they came to ask me to go and collect my own money that they discovered that, oh, that was the first of Solomon Dalung. And the person who was sharing the money tapped me and said, Minister, please, you have to forgive us. This country is not going to World Cup. So we just gave them this one so that they can at least take this one and go home with it because we're going to World Cup. Those are the things that happen in that particular place called NFF. Another thing they do there is that they don't pay players their bonuses, their allowances. When I was a minister, I became a minister 4 days. There was a protest by a team that was playing qualification for Olympics, and they were in the finals. They were going to play finals in 2 days when I took over office, and they went on protest. I investigated and I discovered that they have not been paid. They have been owed the allowances for over a year plus.
Wow.
I went and borrowed 400 million because when it was completed, it was 400 million. I borrowed 400 million, sent 200 million to them through their bank accounts, which NFF kicked against it that I shouldn't pay them directly. I said, no. I paid directly, and immediately I sent the monies into their bank account. The players started training. We won the qualification. We even went to Olympics and came home with a bronze. So, Nigerian football is like Gaza. Hezbollah are there. Free Syrian Army are there. ISIL are there. Hamas are there. The Israelis are there. Kashim Brigade are there. That's how Nigerian Football Federation is. I survived because I was a fool. So none of them took me serious. None of them even thought I knew how to write my name. They kept fabricating, distorting speeches I made just to break my spirit. But I remain resilient because I'm a revolutionary Democrat. So that is the problem of Nigerian football. And why they didn't qualify in 2022 was because of corruption. All the monies voted, they did not pay
the players.
Yes. The same thing had happened now. From the grapevine information I gathered, these players are owed some of the allowances as far back as 2019, meaning since I left office. Because under the administration of the Boy Scout minister, benefits, allowances, bonuses of players are paid directly while he sits there with his barrette, ensuring that everybody gets his money. The same thing with athletes. So the athletes were motivated. They were sure that their benefits will be given to them. But since I left, it has been, we have gone back to Egypt. So it has been non-payment. And the greatest slavery existing in the world is in Nigerian football.
Really?
Yeah. All those players, you see them as even as exposed and experienced as they are, none of them can open his mouth and tell you that I have not been paid. The day any of them make that mistake, he will not wear Nigerian jersey again.
Wow. No matter how good he is.
Oh, no. He can play like Maradona. If he make mistake to publicly say, he will never play again. There are so many players that were never invited again because they complain. The problem that Sunday Olise had with Nigerian football that is still haunting him till today was because in 2002, I was part of federal government delegation when he led the protest against the non-payment of their bonuses and their allowances that led to Nigeria losing to Cameroon at African Cup of Nations. They never forgive him. Even when they appointed him coach, they ganged up and set booby traps for him and made sure players were not paid allowances. They instigated, there was confusion so that he will be disgraced. That is Nigerian football for you. So Nigerian football is a territory that anybody who is there as a minister must have some element of madness, because there's no sane person there.
Today, Tinubu has scrapped Ministry of Youth and Sports. Is that the right way to go?
That's the greatest mistake he made. That's the greatest mistake he made. The Ministry of Youth and Sport is a supervisory ministry. Who supervises sports now in Nigeria?
Nigerian Sports Commission.
Nigerian Sports Commission, the chairman, he was the former league management chairman of NFF. They were part of the people who were investigated by EFCC and inducted. I have the report signed by Magu. Was part of it. And it's the same person you have brought now. An armed robber with gunshots. He's appointed the chairman of Armed Robbery Tribunal. Oh, well, robbers are on celebration. They will be singing of hallelujah everywhere. So, nothing has happened. Anybody who advised Tinubu to have scrapped the Ministry of Youth and Sports, I am speaking as somebody who believes in God. If Tinubu is looking for his enemy, that is the person. So, that's the person. The office of the Minister of Youth and Sport is not only supervisory. It is also the office that represents sports globally on international bodies. There is the World Council of Ministers of Sports. The chairman of the Nigerian Sports Commission doesn't have any right of audience there. He can only sit and represent Nigeria. When ministers are talking, he's not a minister. At the continental level, there are different bodies where there are ministers who sit at such this thing. Even at AU, there are regional bodies of AU sports. The minister is the president. The chairman of the Nigerian Sports Commission cannot be. So, and the office of the minister is an embassy. It's an image-making office of Nigeria.
Sports.
If you look at the houses of ministers that were sold in that hill, what's the Mabushi?
Yeah.
The house of the Minister of Youth and Sports and that of the Minister of Foreign Affairs are the same. They receive foreign delegates. They receive envoys. They host international personalities. They are a face of Nigeria globally. So when you scrap it and brought somebody who is below the rank of a minister, he cannot fit into. The chairman of Nigerian's National Sports Commission does not have diplomatic cover. He doesn't.
So let me, because we're out of time, sir, and it's great to have you around. What will be your advice to this government, looking at all this situation?
My advice to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is that some Nigerians who voted for him out of that 36%, were those who believed that he was a Lagos miracle maker. He was going to transform Nigeria the way he transformed Lagos.
Did he really transform Lagos?
Yeah. Of course, you have to concede certain things to Tinubu in Lagos. In Lagos, there was something he did which was amazing. He brought people from all over Nigeria and appointed them into the government of Lagos State. Nigerians expected him to have formed a government that will unite Nigerians. But today, Tinubu appoints only people who are Emiloko. The Yorubas are receiving the brunt, but it's not Yoruba people Tinubu are appointing. Because it's not enough for you to be appointed as a Yoruba. You must be Emiloko. You must subscribe to the philosophy of Emiloko, and you must be baptized by the chief priest, and he will wear that cap on your head. So, what he needs to do, you still have time. People make mistakes. He has few years to live, whether he likes it or not. He has to leave a legacy. And the legacy we should remember him for should be a legacy of unity of Nigeria. So he needs an inclusive government. He needs to be very, very fair and just to Nigerians. He needs to also tackle the issue of insecurity ruthlessly. Otherwise, his government will be consumed by this insecurity. Because as a commander-in-chief, if his general was captured and executed by bandits, it means bandits are very close to anywhere he is. Because that was a man who had about 3,000 men in his command, but he was captured through a betrayal, a compromise. It means he himself, if nothing is done, in fact, Brigadier General Musa died honorably, he will be captured by this same bandit, and that will be the worst thing that will happen to Nigeria. So you need to be ruthless.
Thank you very much. It's good to always have you around, Comrade Solomon Dalung, sir. We thank you for your honest perspective to all these questions, and we'll always be happy to have you around anytime. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, thank you for just kidnapping me and keeping me in this media forest here. I mean, for over how many hours?
Yes.
But I think I've paid the ransom, so
you can
I can be discharged.
Thank you very much. And to viewers, we thank you for staying with us. And I'm sure that you've picked one or two things from Comrade Solomon Dalung. And we hope that things get better in Nigeria, and the trusts that the masses have in politicians can pave way for a better Nigeria. I want to say thank you for being with us and for having your time stay with us this day. Till the next episode on this program, we say God bless you.